So this morning, I want to talk about a few things about fundamental. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about NFP. Okay. Leo ni Friday. Today's on Friday. So, the first thing that I want to give you guys some updates of the pairs that I have. There's this pair. It's delivered around 160 pips for me. I don't know if you guys took this trade. Show you. You know, there's this pair. If you check on it, was observing daily, and I had my refinement on where we had liquidity engineering based on this transition. Let me talk about it. So if you look at yes, if you look at NSD card, I had this setup whereby I had a shift with this formation, but I opted to get my entry at this zone where we had what do you call it? We had a type 1 liquidity, and it was lining up with what do you have it? Liquidity engineering on that specific time frame. So I always tell you guys, whenever you're doing your analysis and you get, even if you are checking your chart from monthly to daily, and then you realize the stop loss is still making sense, you can always take that trade. You don't need to go further because the sell was actually around 10 pips, but the rule is always give some extra pips. Even if you had your stop loss here, but that is so big. So far, so good. The market has delivered. By the time I was taking my first partial, I was at around 160 pips. So you see the market has done an RR of 1 to 10 so far. That's a good thing. And if you look at this trade, so when I was talking about understanding the pairs that you're trading, you need to understand the aspect of volatility. You need to have a mixture of low, medium, high, and low volatile pairs. It's very, very important to take note of that. So if you see what we have on this pair, the market, since it activated, the trade activated around this one, it's so far it's like 10 days. You see, if it's gold in 10 days, it can give you a lot of pips. The volatility alone, if you get the entry from a swing point, that's a lot of pips. But for this one, see 10 days, it's given you around 160 pips. If you compare to other pairs, so this is more of a low or a medium pair in terms of volatility. Then if you look at, you also had this pair here, GJ, we are still observing. We're expecting price probably to go all the way upside, and then we're going to be getting our sells. We're trying to get some buys the other day, but the market didn't come back to our area of liquidity, and it decided to fly. Okay, guys, trading is very simple. Just follow the plan. Yeah, so we had this trade. Price didn't really come to our entry, but it's gone up. So now we'll be looking for sales from around this zone. So make sure you, for guys, if you are choosing to be a full-time or a professional trader, have a paid version of trading so that you can analyze the charts, and then you can miss a trade because you didn't set alert, so that whenever price comes to your entry, you can have attention of taking your trades either in terms of pending orders or instant execution. And those trades, once they come to your entry, they might take you fast before they go to the direction. That's why sometimes it's very important to have a version that can allow, or a way that you can get notified based on what is happening in the market. So we also have a EURJPY. There's this setup that I shared in the group the other day that did refinement. Is it real? No, it's AUDJPY. Yeah, even you CAD JPY, EURJPY, most of the JPY pairs, they have been really performing very well. It's AUDJPY. Most of the JPY pairs have been performing very well. So like this one, I just explained to you the refinement. So the area of liquidity that we're looking at was this. Let me show you. So this is where we have our shift points. These are continuational moves. This is where we have our shift point. So when you have it there, now you put this thing around this. So you ignore the long wick. So that's where we had our shift point. Then we had this inside formation around this area. So we had that inside formation. When you do the refinement, the market was coming to that's 4 hours. If you go to 30 minutes, on 30 minutes, we had liquidity engineering. That's where the trade was taken from. If you look at the stop loss, it's around 16 pips, let's say 20 pips. And so far, so good. The trade has delivered some nice risk to reward ratio. The first target or the first take profit was supposed to be at this area. This is where we have our first target. Up to 4 hours, you'll see that clearly. And so far, so good. The market has delivered around 8. But the last time I was checking, we were to around 15. So far, it has delivered 18 risk to reward ratio. So I like putting my my ideology based on the size of capital. If you have a very nice account, let's say you have an 100K account, and you are able to risk maybe 5%, right? Or even let's say you have a 50K account, 50K USD account, your stop loss was around, let's say, 20 pips. And so far you can see the reward is around, so far it's 18. So you have an account of 50K USD, you risk 0.5%. That is a lot size of, you will be risking to 50. And since the RR is around 1 to, so far is 1 to 18, I'm going to show you. So far by now, you should be up by, that is 250. 250 times 18. 50 times 18. And these are trade that is less than 4 days actually. Patience is very important, guys. 18 times 250, that is 4,500, almost 10%. You'll always get paid for that 50K USD account. That is, you'll be paid 80%. That is $3,690. For those guys who are from Kenya, that is 470,000 in 3 days, you know. So that's how things are done, guys. I hope you guys are following. You know, I'm buying time so that the people expect. I hope you're all together. So that is another trade. I'm just doing recaps of what I've had on my watch list this week. And if you look at this trade, actually, the day it activated, up to where it is, it's actually a trade that has run for like 2 days and 16 hours. So let's say roughly 3 days. From Tuesday, it activated on Tuesday, 29th. And so far, it's been running since Tuesday. The whole thing is just do everything right, be patient, apply proper risk management, let the market do whatever it wants. The other day, I posted in the group and I said, guys, you cannot regulate the outcome. Your work is just, you can regulate the risk, but you cannot regulate the outcome of the market. Then we also had JPY. Yes? Lenny, make sure your mic is muted kindly. Once you're in the meeting, guys, make sure your mic is muted. You know, you might be talking about sensitive things. Then we will be here listening and laughing, you know. So we have got JPY. Also, those guys were here. I think I also did some recap, breakdown on Monday. On Monday. And I remember very well we were anticipating to get some counter sales here, but the market took out. So that's why now you also need to know how to hedge and hold trade. So if you look at, this was supposed to be our first take profit around this area. Already also delivered an RR of around 1 to 5. But so far from that buy move, the market has delivered also another RR of around 1 to 15. So the same thing, if you did a 0.5% on your account, that is also another almost 400K. So by now, those guys who have 50K account, if you took those two trades, you'll be having 900,000 Kenyan shillings, I'm making it simple, and that is the reality, guys. You don't need to complicate anything. That's how people make money in the community and other traders, and they're doing big things outside there. So are we together? Sam, hello? I don't know if Sam is in this meeting.
Yo, Nico.
Oh, yeah. So then another pair, I think I had some pairs on GBPUSD and EURJPY. I was taken out. You see, in fact, these pairs have been taken out. The selling momentum has been coming in massively. So I was taken out on EURUSD. There's also GBPUSD. Yeah, that is GU. Then we also have Euro. I was also taken out. Yes, that is the reality, guys. Let me show you what I was looking at. When we need to talk, we need to preach what we drink. We don't need to preach. We preach what we drink. So let me just break down the charts, how I got them, and we'll see what made them to fail. The week we were anticipating dollar to buy. For the correlation, we expected these pairs to sell, but the market had come to our areas of liquidity. So a pair like this one, could I also show you failed trades? The market came all the way down here. I was actually looking at this particular point. I was looking at that particular point because I'd seen a shift transition. So the market came. I think I even did refinement on 30 minutes. And I had I think I had my entries down here based on these. There was this liquidity engineering that I had here. Then this is where my entry was. Oh, that is 30 minutes. I think I need to go further. Yes, I had a stop loss around. My stop loss, I think, was around 7. So if you realize what happened, actually, that setup failed. The market came, reacted, went up, came, took us out. Then now this zone has reacted as more sell. So, but now, if you look at, so I expected actually once the market comes here, it's gonna be probably continuing to push up, but that was a failed setup. So one of the reasons why this setup has failed, when I was doing my analysis, I didn't keenly take the consideration of the correlation of the dollar. I was just purely following the technical aspect of the market based on the liquidities. So that is one of the reasons why that setup failed. And then this is an NFP week, and it's a pair that is related with the dollar. So when the NFP data comes out, it's mostly going to affect the US dollar. So today, after today's data being released, that's when we'll get clarity on which direction to head in terms of the pairs that have got the USD, the pairs that have got the USD, quotes of basis. Then we also had, I think, USDJPY, USDCHF, USDJPY, but I believe the trades have not yet come to our end. You expect them probably to come here. Then since today we're expecting the dollar to weaken based on the data that is written on the previous platform, we expect the data to come low. So if the data comes low as the forecast, that simply means pairs like USDCHF, they're gonna be selling, and when they'll be selling, the market will be seeking the most recent areas of liquidity, especially during that time when the data. I'm gonna give you a secret on how to trade these high impact news. You apply it, you can always make money. When the market, first of all, you need to have a bias even before the data comes out. And once you have a bias of the, you need to have a long-term bias, and then you also need to have a short-term bias based on the areas of liquidity. So, for instance, if you look at USDCHF, since we know that the dollar gonna be selling, are you guys following? Are we following? Are we there? I hope I'm recording this session. Are we all following? If you can hear me and if you can see my screen and if you're following, react on the chat section so that I know we are all together. Great, can see reactions from you guys. Okay, perfect. Guys are following. So let's move on. Let's move on. So Nairobi. Just a moment. All right. So I was saying, for instance, if you look at what we have in this case for USDCHF, the most initially when the shift happened, the market had this outside formation here, and price has reacted here. So probably if the momentum will be crazy enough, there's a high chance that price will come and clear all out these equal lows and maybe probably come down here. Then maybe we'll be continuing with the direction of the market, right? But now again, during the news or that time that the news is about to be released or the data is about to be released, I want you guys to take note of this. If by that time the market will still be around this, it's just a few hours from now, and then we have this area of liquidity here, price might come and react from this zone. That's how you take trades based on liquidity too. But you should be cautious with the data. So price might come and react on this area and decide to keep pushing up. Price might come, and of course you'll be doing that on lower time frame, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and then maybe continuing up. So that's how you should be able to observe the structures that you have in the market. So based on what is on these fundamental platforms, the reality is okay. For today's NFP, the expectation from the forecast is that the dollar, gonna be weakened based on data. But when it comes to fundamentals, anything can always happen. The results might be opposite of that. So you need to get to understand how to come in based on where liquidity is seated, right? So you need to understand, you need to come in based on where liquidity is seated in the market. So we also had a pair like USDJPY. USDJPY. So we have this area that you're waiting for down here. Let me explain to you guys this setup. Explain this setup that I have here. If you're on 4 hours, we have this area of liquidity. We have this area of liquidity, right? We have this area of liquidity. Then when you go to, okay, let me just mark it. We have that area of liquidity. Then on that area, we have validation point, and then you have this invalidation point. So when you move from what do you call it? 4 hours, you go to 30 minutes, you will be able to see a couple of things. Number one, we also have a shift. We have a shift around this area. Then inside that area, have that shift. Then on that shift, we have the same one 30 minutes. We have, I think we have this here. We have these, what do you call it? We have a flip. We have a flip. This is a normal flip, and it's on an invalidation. I mean, on validation point. If you narrow down to, okay, we have this zone here actually. And we have this area. So if you go back to 5 minutes, just doing the refinement. On 5 minutes, there are two things that gives us confidence. We had these flip at exactly around this area. So when you go down, when you narrow down, you're going to get your entry somewhere here. But based on this structure that we have here, you can narrow down to even 1 minute. Sorry, I think I'm sorry for that. Hold on. So the entry was here, actually exactly here, sure. So when you narrow down to 30 minutes, we had these flip. So this is where the entry was spotted. And if you measure the pips, it's 37. So that's when now we went to 5 minutes. And on 5 minutes, what we have, I really don't know why my trading view is disappointed.
Recording in progress.
Yes, so when you go to 5 minutes, you realize that the market is actually coinciding. Yes, perfect. This is what we call a round retest. Yes, we had a round retest. But on that round retest, these are failed actually liquidity engineering, because when the market, let me show you what actually how I got this. Okay, when the market was buying, it took out this area, then came and took out this low. So when this push was coming back, we expected probably price to tap here and do what? Continue selling. But what happened? The market traded above the liquidity engineering and went up. So when the market was coming down, we expected a serious reaction. This area will go up. So that's why it's more of, because of this going up and coming back, that's a retest, yes, but now we call that a normal retest. And as you know very well, anytime, I told you guys, anytime you see a flip, they're always very stronger than even liquidity engineering, especially the failed. That's why there's this statement that we always use. Any failed liquidity engineering is the best. Whichever the case, either bullish or bearish, is always the best flip, right? So once you have your entry at that particular, you don't need to struggle so much. So you just put your entry there and you put a stop loss of 15 to 20 pips from the entry. And that's how you get your SLs. So you don't really need to do much kind of refinement considering other factors. You just put your entry where the flip is, and you put an SL of 15 to 20 pips. That's how I actually got that trade. You see the stop loss was around 15 pips. I think there's an adjustment. If you go back to 4 hours, your first target should supposed to be where? supposed to be here. So these are those scenarios where now we call back from yesterday's session that I was discussing when I was talking about journaling. This is where we have continuation, pullback, and then continuation. You see, this was a break of structure. Then this is the zone that caused this high. So the market came back near that zone based on refinement, collected liquidity, and then it's breaking this high. So where are we heading to? If you go back to the daily time frame, we have this area of liquidity here. So that's why my target is near that zone, right? We have that area of liquidity. So that's why my target is actually that particular zone. If you do refinement, you realize there's something. Then even if I go further, if that zone will be broken based on the structures, I'm going for this type of liquidity, which is type 3. So I might extend this all the way to that zone. Are we all together? Are we getting it clear? You know, I'm doing this breakdown so that you get to understand the things that I teach you guys in class. You know, there's teaching and there's applying and there's getting those trades. I hope you guys are learning and getting getting these kind of what do you call it, kind of setups. I need to see reaction on the chat section that I know you guys are following and you're learning. So today, I want us to look at the data that we have on the platform that is on about NFP. Which other pair that I've not talked about? There's a pair that Esther shared that was AUDJPY. I'll be breaking it down probably over the weekend and share it in the Discord. I think I've talked of AUDJPY, if I'm not wrong. I think you're done with AUDJPY. There's a pair also, GBPNSD. GBPNSD. So for GBPNSD, I'm still anticipating probably this price to shoot all the way upside. Then we'll be looking for sales to take us down. But I'll do proper refinement for this one and share with you guys. I'll do proper refinement and share with you guys the Discord platform, because you can see we already have a transition, you know, and we have a flip. So the market might be coming all the way up to consume or to test this area of liquidity up here. And clearly we can see that is a very nice type 1. So if you put our lines on the validation and validation points, so we're going to do our refinement on this area of liquidity. We're going to be having entries from this area of liquidity. Then we'll be looking for sales, take us down. So we'll be waiting for price to come all the way up there. Then we're going to get our entries there. So I want to hear from you guys. Which other pairs do you have in your watch list, or maybe you want us to look at? Round retest, Mr. Veli, means like this. Let's say a round retest is something that happens in this manner. Let me show you. Let's say you are having structure like this, and maybe this is scenario 1. And the market come and does this. Then for that, we expect probably price to come and react on this liquidity engineering. But what happens? The market goes all the way up. Then after going up, maybe does something like this, comes and reacts on that failed liquidity engineering and goes up. And then later, after some time, price again comes back and react on the same level, and then continues the trend. That's what you call a round retest. So this is where we anticipated to have liquidity engineering. That simply means when the market was going up, after taking out these high and this low, we expected price to come here and then continue selling. But instead, what happens? The market pushed and trades above this area. So when such scenario happens, so you should check those flips. They're always very powerful. So the market again came, took out this hard, then later on it came and retested the same flip area, then went up. So yeah, I think it's clear. I think it's clear. I think it's clear. I think it's clear that. So someone is saying we talk about EURJPY. I've already talked about AUDJPY, Mr. Nelson. We are still bullish on AUDJPY. I don't know what exactly you are looking at so that I can also talk about it. Just remind me what you had in mind so that I can have a look at it. So let me look at EURJPY meanwhile. EURJPY. EURJPY. I'm just waiting for today's NFP and then next. Once I get clarity next week, lazima nipate trades are za 1 to 30. Is a trade I'm waiting. It might give us an RR of 1 to 50. Anyway, so let's look at EURJPY. By the way, guys, JPY pairs, they're so good. And when they give you clean moves, you can really make good money. I'm talking about the JPY pairs, Japanese yen, EURJPY. So EURJPY, remember yesterday or the other day when we were talking, I think it was Moses. Is it EURJPY? Yeah, I was not seeing clear things because I'm waiting for my areas of interest. Oh, I had done that refinement. Perfect. Let me see. It was on 4 hours. Yes, I remember it was on 4 hours. So actually that trade went without coming to our area. So let me try to get it clear. There's a zone we had an area of liquidity. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. Yeah, so we had this on 1 hour. We had this type 5. If I remember the refinement we did the other day at night, we had that type 5. I think it was Moses concern. Then when you move from daily, you go to 1 hour. When you can't see things clearly, guys, what you always do, you can shift forwards. So here, I really don't have any business because price came and reacted on this liquidity engineering. Market went up. So area of liquidity that we had that is very important, probably we could use. Okay, here we have a flip, and this flip is more of a what we call a special case. Let me see. Yes, if you turn it into a line graph, you'll see it very well. So we have that special case flip. I'll do more examples of special case flip and share on Discord. So that's why price game reacted here. And when this market was coming, the first move, this one, came to react on this structure here. But so long as there's a wick, I don't consider this as any type of liquidity, but it's a formation. So that's why price came to react here. But now where my interest is mainly on these special case flip. That's why price came reacted, then went up. So if you were to focus on the recent structure, probably after being left out with this, what we could have done, we should just come and focus. Okay, I think for me, I was waiting for the market to come to this area. I think it was clear on 4 hours. Hold on. Yes, there's a refinement I did. Let me use 4 hours cycle, 4 hours. I'm pretty sure this was 4 hours, 30 minutes. I was looking at the week. Yes, and then nice. I was considering this unconsumed liquidity on 4 hours. That's why I have my entry there. But if you look at what happened, price didn't really come to consume. But just know, later on, this zone will be tapped. And it's going to be a sniper entry, a zero drawdown entry. So from 4 hours, let me show you why I had that. I considered this long wick. I was considering this long wick as an area that has not been consumed. And then from the long wick, as any long wick rejection is also an area of liquidity. It has to be consumed on lower time frame before the market goes up. So then when it came to 30 minutes, I came to 30 minutes. Then that's when I was like, what else do I have here that can give me an entry? Then I had, whenever you see such kind of, okay, these are type 1, but in a way, sometimes you call it a banker, call it a banker block, or rather a banker candlestick. So anytime price comes here, just put your entry on the body and 15 to 20 pips down from your entry, and it will always be a sniper entry. So that's why actually I had this. I believe this was Moses' question the other day. So now, since the market has not touched our entry and it's gone up, what you do, if you go back to 4 hours, you can look at the structure that we have. Already, the market has done a transition and a shift. And first of all, we have this area of liquidity. So since you have already missed that, we have this structure. So for us to continue buying, so from 4 hours, we will wait either for the market to come down here and take some nice trade. You also need to consider the aspect of momentum. When the market will be dropping, how is it behaving? How is the momentum? So here we have these transitions. Then price came and took out these. So price came and took out these, right? So we have, here we have a couple of things. We have liquidity engineering and we have type 1. So when the market will be coming back, we can refine our entries here and go. But before, probably since the momentum is crazy, before price goes further, we might get some structures on 30 minutes around here. So we go to 30 minutes. Perfect. On 30 minutes, because I want you to understand something. So this is 4 hours. Hold on, let me go back. This is 4 hours break of structure. So such zone, there is liquidity too. So the market will be coming, so you can go to 30 minutes and look at what structure do we have. I'm going to show you how to get continuational trades. But also you need to know there are zones that are stronger than the others in terms of the main trend. So from here, I can go to 30 minutes. Then on 30 minutes, if I want to get continuational trend, the first zone that I can consider for short-term continuationals, number one, if I look at this structure, before this market broke this particular area, the upside, what was the most recent structure that was there that has not been consumed, that price might come and react on it? That's why now you go to the situational time frame, and in this case, you could consider this area as an area of liquidity that has not been consumed, and it's actually near the breaking point. So that tells us there's a likelihood of the market coming here, react here, and maybe push a little bit further. So market might do something like this. But of course, that will happen when the confirmation is seen. So market might decide to come down here. Then your first target should be here. So I'm showing you how to get these intra-continuational short-term trades, or intraday trades. So when you do our refinement now, so we can have this area on validation points. So here I'll be either looking for flips on lower time frame that I can even go up to 1 minute. So here I'll look for flips or liquidity engineering. So this one, prices come. Let's see if there's another banker. Let me see. Yes, this also is a very important zone, but I'll talk about it later. So if you go back to this area, so if you measure the stop loss and it makes sense, you don't need further refinement. So you can expect a reaction here. That is like 15 pips. If you go up, that's almost 80 pips. So that is an RR of almost 1 to 5 plus. So I can either do more refinement or stick to that. But if you go to more refinement, you go to 5 minutes on that 30 minutes area of liquidity, we can look for a couple of things. Number one, we have this flip here. Why do we have that flip? So number one, we had this high. And we had this low. What happened? The market first of all took these. The market took this high, then took this low. So when this market was going up, we expected probably a reaction here, and then price do what? Continue selling. But what happened? It didn't happen that way. So the market broke out that liquidity. So when the market will be coming, that now gives me assurance and confidence that if this price comes, that will be a very nice area for me to get a nice buy for continuation. So that takes me back to these. So I can have that SL there. Okay, the rule is when you are having an entry on a flip and it's powerful, you can have a stop. 15, even 10. Because flip, it's always also happen because you can have a sell off around 15. Then, if you have that there, and maybe you target, you can use 4 hours candles. Who is making noise? Who is making noise? Who is making noise? Mute your mic or I'll remove you from the meeting kindly. So, and if you go, these are how, guys, this is how you confirm your trades and get confidence. Where is the entry? The entry is near the weak overlaps. So now you can now come and target maybe that high. So that's an RR of around 1 to 4. What you're looking for in the market is risk to reward ratio. Apply risk management, get a setup, and you're good to go. So if you're trading a pro forma again, maybe that trade comes and mature. Let's say you're trading an account of 100K USD. Just showing you how these things are done. Trading an account of 100K USD, the stop loss is 15, and then you're even risking 0.8%. Then you do the calculation tab. What losses are you supposed to use? 5.3. You're going to risk $800. The RR is on 1 to 4 point something. I think it was around 1.4. Let's say 1.48. So if it's 1.48, so you're going to do 800. Just showing you how to make money, guys. That is 800 times 4.8, which is $3,800. That simple continual trade, you get paid 80%. You get paid 80%. That is $3,000. That is enough. In Kenya, if you can make $2,000 in a month, you're good. But it depends on your lifestyle and how you want your life to be. Anyway, I hope you guys are getting something. I hope you guys are getting something. I really hope you guys are getting something. Lenny, is that level now an example of round retest? Which level, Lenny? Which level? Let me go back to 30 minutes. Is it Ellie? Master, are you there? Nani, Lenny, this is not
yes,
around.
yes. I'm around.
Gold unasemaje? I know
Gold
you.
mi naona
Although niliona ulikuwa na hiyo trade ya oil ikakuacha. So this is not a round retest. Let me answer this. This is not a round retest, Lenny. This is just a normal flip. Because this is where the flip is. That's how I do my refinement, guys. That's why we have the flip. So as much as I've done this, you can upgrade this trade and consider it once it comes there. I'll download it. Sometimes I give many trades and all that. So guys, you can decide to select a few pairs and stick to them. So I think whoever had a question about, was it EURJPY you answered? Or whatever you wanted to see, you've seen, unless there's something else. So,
yeah, umenijibu hizo.
ilikuwa swali ya Henry.
Yeah.
Ara sikuwa ni mwana ni wewe sawa. So, mtu hapa anataka kuniuzia kitu, okay. Anyway, so let's look at Nelson is talking about EURJPY. Oh, AUDJPY. AUDJPY. The setup that we shared here for AUDJPY on 4 hours. Yeah, it makes sense, Nelson. Let me look at it. AUDJPY. Guys, let me tell you something. We have been learning and we are now applying things. I don't need to confirm everything for you to be sure. You need to make those mistakes. In fact, you should make those mistakes, both cheap and expensive mistakes, so that you learn. Experience is always the best teacher. If you want to be perfect in trading, you'll never make money. I'll say that to you guys without fear. The only way you can learn ni kama tu ukipea mtoto wembe mkate ndiye anajua kitu ni mbaya. So the only way, the best way to learn is experience. Experience the charts. Go to the charts. Analyze your charts. Apply risk management. Take those trades. Let them hit stop loss so that you can feel painful, and then now you will grow from that. So that is a setup that I've seen, Nelson. It's very valid because we have this transition here. Seen where you had that. So we have these. This one here, shift. Then we have this inside formation with validation and invalidation point. Validation and invalidation points, though it's not any type of liquidity. So we have that validation, then invalidation point where we had our entry. So that is like more of a re-entry when price will be coming here. So if you go to 30 minutes for refinement, nice, very nice engineer, very nice. I like this. So number one, at that particular area, there are several things that I can see. We have this liquidity engineering here. We have this liquidity engineering here. So you might have a retest at 91.46. And then also, the same scenario, we have this formation here. And that formation does not really have any type. So you can also get an entry here. But as far as I'm concerned, I can see down here, we have this type, I think it's type 1. And this type 1, okay, so we'll have our entry here. The type 1. If you measure the pips and they're making sense, you don't need to do further refinement. What is the stop loss? That's 2 pips. That is so big. So what do you do? But the first entry, you should take it around this area. The first entry, you should take it around this area. And your stop loss should be 15 pips from that zone, 15 to 20 pips. So your first entry, you should take it here because you have a flip. Yes, you can have your first entry there. Or, let me show you, or here, because I can see also another flip. So yeah, you can take your first entry there. And your stop loss 15 pips from that. 15 to 20. It depends, guys, with your risk appetite and what you want. So stop loss somewhere there. That is a nice trade. If that fails, the last point that you should dwell or focus on, it's supposed to be where we have this type 1 validation, invalidation point. So if you go to 15 minutes because the stop loss was, 5 minutes because the stop loss was so big. Now you look at the finer details. When you talk of the finer details, that's now where we dwell in. With all of these, if you measure the stop loss from that area, the downside, it's around 30 pips where we have our invalidation and validation point. So it's supposed to be here. So in that case scenario for me, in 5 minutes, I can decide to use this flip, or I can decide to use the liquidity engineering. So here, I can choose to use this normal flip. If the stop loss is big, I'll go for the stop loss is 25 pips, which is not bad. Which is not bad. So you can have your entry there. You can have your entry there and continue up. Or you can adjust your entry to, you can adjust your entry to this particular area. You know, now the stop loss has seriously reduced because now there we have liquidity engineering. So that is around 15 pips. So that will be a continuation trade. So if I go back to forward, Nelson, you are right, but I'm just doing further refinement. So you can have another re-entry here. Let me draw another line. So if you can have a re-entry there, but you know what, you also guide you is the structure of the market. Based on the market, have an entry there, then continue going up. That was around 15 pips. Then we have drawn that line. There's that weak overlap with these also. Liquidity engineering, so you could have another entry there. So just refine, get the best zone to buy from, apply risk management. Don't overthink, don't be perfect. If you be perfect, you'll miss a lot of trades. You'll be trading with a lot of fear of missing out. Just follow everything, get one of the entry criteria, execute that trade, let the market do whatever it wants to do. That's the only way you can make money. But if you want to be so perfect, I don't need to confirm all your trades for you to make money. Just you have already learned. And the only way to learn is apply them by yourself, make those mistakes. Then when you realize you are not having good results, come back to me and then I tell you where the problem is. All right. Looking BTC sales at 99,181. Please confirm. Wycliffe, what exactly are you looking for? To also, it's not just me confirming. I also want to hear, are you able to come to the chats and talk about it? Or maybe unmute yourself and tell me what are you looking at, on BTC? Yes, Nelson, that's how things are supposed to be done. So what exactly are you looking at BTC to sell? Before even I look at the chat, I also need to hear from you. Beatrice, Beatrice, Bitcoin. Wycliffe, guys, don't fear anything. No one will eat you. Just speak up. What are you looking at in the chat? What are you looking at Bitcoin? I told you guys, those guys I was with yesterday, if you want to grow in life, with everything you're doing in life, you have to, don't be scared about what other people will think about you. Just fail so that you can move forward. But if you're scared or if you want to be perfect, you'll never grow. So Wycliffe, I'm addressing you. FX Wiki, you said that you want to sell from 99,181. So I want to understand, what are you looking at? I'm not looking at it. I just want to understand, what are you looking at on BTC? Why do you want to sell from 99,181? Are you in position to talk? Or am I too harsh to you? 99,181. Vicky, I'm addressing you, brother. 99. You said 99. 99 what? Let me change the call. 99. Today I'm so happy. Is it because it's Friday? Constance, are you here? Are we going? Are we all together? 99. Say 99. I need to see what are you looking at? 99,181. Guys, as much as you're telling me to confirm, I don't trade everything and I cannot get all the trades. So at a personal level, okay, to confirm is okay, but at a personal level, you should also be able to do these things by yourself so that you learn. Are you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear me. So let's say, okay, if I look at daily, the daily time frame, I can spot this area of liquidity, which is type, that is type 1. So I put my neon validation. I'm just looking at, he has mentioned our price level, so I'm just trying to get to understand what could be possible here. So we have that type 1. If I come to 1 hour, refinement purposes, I have a shift, then I have an inside formation, which is a type 5. And for this one, I could say it's been consumed because of the market sold, bought, then sold. So that is a self-consumption. So I'm talking about this particular point. I might not really maybe there, but I'll check on lower time frame. So I could have maybe considered this type here, put my line on the FMD of the structure. That is 1 hour. I have a type 5, then I can refine probably on 15 minutes all the way to 3 minutes. But also up here, I want to see what, okay, we'll just check it out. So if I go to 15 minutes, Oh my goodness, my chart doesn't allow. Anyway, of course, if I go to 15 minutes, I'll be able to refine based on the things we look at. Liquidity engineering, liquidity flip, you know. Let me go to daily. Go to daily. Yeah, the entry is near the weeks, so probably I refine. Your trade weekly is valid. Probably I believe your trade is valid. The market might come react on that zone. I'm gonna try and refine it later on. The market might react on that price level, maybe come for this first area, and even maybe further come here before we continue pushing up further, right? And you know, Bitcoin is very volatile, so you can easily make money very fast if you do it very well. So I think you've given me a heads up. I'm going to check on BTC. I'm seeing so clean setups. Wow. I'm going to get setups for the weekend. I'll look for setups. I'll sit down the evening or later on, check for setups that I can trade on Saturday and Sunday for Bitcoin. For those guys who have brokers like Just Market, they allow you to trade Bitcoin over the weekend, even Xmas. So I think up to that point, we are good. So let me finally talk about gold. Then I'll be done. Gold. Now, gold, the daily time frame, we have price has been ranging for a couple of days, but the moment the market closed below this area, to me, that was an indication that we're going to continue selling. Then there's that thing that I shared in the group. If the dollar will be strengthening further, then not yet. I'll talk about the fundamentals for the last part. So we have had a body closure below here. We've had a body closure below here. So for me to get continuation of sales, I'll need to go to 1 hour. In 1 hour, I'm going to look at the structure in this manner. So whatever is happening is a pullback, and then we're going to have a continuation. So this area, I've seen a lot of consumption. So the only area of liquidity that has not been consumed is the whole of this region. Because I'm showing you how to break down things. This is the area that has not been consumed. That's where our interest is. And then I'm looking at that area. I can spot an area of liquidity at the 33 around here. I have that type 1, but because I have this kind of reaction, it will lead us to considering not as we don't need to ignore this area, but we still have this type. No, is it type 1? No, type 5. So these are a zone that I need to focus on looking for continuation of sales that will deliver us all the way to the 31.25 level. Guys, do you know that gold might decide now from this month to go all the way to 2,500? Do you know that? There's a possibility. That's why you need to be well equipped and updated about the market updates or whatever is happening. So on 1 hour, this is an area of liquidity. If I go to the line graph, you'll see it clearly. So I hope you've understood how I drived all the way to the downside. I started with this. I don't want to delete my chart. Let me use a different FX. So here, number 1, we have this price traded below this area of liquidity, and we have a body closure. But still, we have this area of liquidity that price has reacted from. We have this area of liquidity that price has reacted from. All right, market came, reacted from. So we put our chart on validation and invalidation. So there's that structure. If someone was keenly checking on this area of liquidity, so it could go to 1 hour. Just talking about this one first. So we have that. But now that since today we're expecting dollar probably data to go down, there's a likelihood gold can decide to rally from that area to go up. But I don't know how far, maybe to come and target that zone. So today's candlesticks opened in a bullish manner. So if I go to 1 hour, if I go to 1 hour, just a moment, guys. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. So, so if you look at, we were identifying this zone, we were identifying actually this area of liquidity on daily. So if you were to get these buys on this bottom side, that's why you don't need to ignore, you really don't need to ignore liquidity areas. So just looking at it on 1 hour, the first place I can see price traded this area, came retested, then down here we have liquidity engineering. So I could have opted to have an entry based on that liquidity engineering. And I'm pretty sure the market came and tapped that and went. And from that zone, you can see clearly from that zone, just a moment. Just a moment. Hold on, guys. Hold on. The people are disturbing me and it's a little bit urgent. I need to moment and then we continue. I just want you to understand how we break down the charts. So, so if you were to observe, I hope you saw how we broke it. The daily area of liquidity, that's why whenever you see a structure, don't ignore it. So you could do a refinement, go to 1 hour, look at possible reasons why you should buy, get liquidity engineering. I told you, guys, when it comes to gold, sometimes you don't need it really to be fixed on the 20 SL. You can even sometimes use 30, 40 and all that, depends. So for me, whenever I'm having price coming to this area and I can't get clear confirmation, I always sit on the chart and observe what is happening on 15 minutes and 3 minutes. Then when I get a clear confirmation, like trust me, if I could miss this and then the market did this, I could have gotten my entries around this 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And from that reaction, price has already done how many pips? 500 pips. You got that trade, you have a nice account. That is nice money. That's some good money, So my interest is not mainly here. My interest right now is on this area of liquidity. And again, based on the other things that I talked about, I have not really touched on them. We have impure liquidity here. This was acting as support. Then price came and took out this zone. So there's also the likelihood. This was the impure liquidity zone. Price came took out. So there's a likelihood of market coming and reacting from here and even deciding to sell further. Or if not so, we're going for the extreme area of liquidity here. Then we drop down. So based on 1 hour, we are trading in probability, guys. So you should be very flexible and looking at the marks on possible areas of reaction. Don't be like a stone. You should be flexible. You need to react based on the market, based on what you see, not what you imagine. So if I go back to the line graph, on the daily time frame, let me show you something. Just a moment. Nairobi. On the daily time frame, I want to put this line here and I want to change the color. I want to explain something. That's how you also get confidence when you're looking for your trades. So is that line. Then I'll put this color. Then let me go to daily. When you go to the daily, that entry is near the opening price of the Wednesday candlestick. Then this one here, if you see this reaction, see these weeks, it's like price was touching that. It was like support. Price comes here and it gets rejected to the upside again. Then now this candlestick came and took out. So which means there's a very strong selling momentum around this zone. That's why when I'm telling you guys there's impure liquidity here, there's a likelihood of the market coming and reacting. Now when you refine, there's a likelihood of the market. In fact, I'm gonna get us an idea here. There's a likelihood of the market coming here to react and maybe decide to sell even further. You know, there's a possibility of that, guys. There's a possibility of that. So you should think in probability and possibility. So there's a possibility of that. So why? Because of that impure liquidity. In fact, there's a very nice setup for me to explain things to do with impure liquidity. Let me explain that. So you see, the market came here, reacted, went up, came again, reacted here, went up, came again, reacted, went up, came down, reacted, then came down, then reacted. So then dropped. So if you follow the principles of level 1, level 2, blah, blah, blah flips, so this simply means the first flip reaction, you can easily get 150 or 200 pips from this zone. So I expect probably the first zone price might come and react here. Let me show you. And deliver some nice pips. You can refine here on lower time frame. If not so, I can get my entries below the 50%. Let me show you. If I put my structure here, all this to this highest point, my 50% zone is around this area. So I can also get another entry here. So now when you're measuring those levels, you need to use structures. What do you have liquidity at that particular? So the first reaction can have that, and then the other reaction, probably market might come all the way here and react. The other reaction, possible reactions, the market might come now to the extreme point and then go to our type 5 when you refine and now sell. So those are the 3 possible selling moves. Are we guys following? Are we all together? All right. So this is impure liquidity. When we talk about impure liquidity, market doesn't have fixed price. It has unfixed price. That's why price moves from liquidity to liquidity, liquidity to liquidity. So price reacted here. Let me circle it. So this is now where we call the 0 level, because this is what we call the 0 level. Then price went, created this high. Then again came, created this reaction here. Again went, created this high. Came, created this low. Then this was the last high. So if we're gonna continue the bearish trend, the whole of this region, I want you guys to take note of that. Don't miss these cells. The whole of this region, let me highlight it. You need to get nice cells from the whole of this region. It's up to you to refine and know where to sell from. I will not do everything for you guys. You should learn. So price should react from anywhere here, and once we get clear reaction, okay, now that data, we don't know when the data is coming for NFP, things can change and maybe market might decide to buy. But if the data will also come in favor to this, know that this move might give us 1,000 pips. Take note of that. Reaction from this zone might give us up to 1,000 pips. In fact, it is easier to get the 1,000 pips. Reason where I'm interested to buy from is around 31.25. 31.25, around here. Why? Because on the daily time frame, there's a very powerful flip. Are we guys together? There's a very powerful flip. So when you're umesikia, so you use common sense. So there's a very powerful flip. So if this happens, Don't be surprised if you see today's candlestick massively selling. So it is you to know where to. For me, I will not miss trade. So long as I don't have distractions today, I'll sit on this chart and I'm going to get very nice move for gold. I'm going to make money. And all of us are going to make money because I've given you a clue. So that's like, in fact, even 1,500 pips. And then from here, we might now be interested to buy again, maybe some pips. Right? Liquidity to liquidity. If not so, if this one is broken, then we'll come do a full consumption on this liquidity engineering and so on. So the market doesn't have fixed price. We move up and down. So you need to spot areas of liquidity and move on with that. So guys, have we understood? Have we gotten clues and ideas on gold? Let me see a reaction on the chat section. Have we gotten clues and ideas on gold? Or is there anyone who has a question on gold? Gold is one of my best asset to trade. Gold is my girlfriend in Forex. I'm kidding, guys. Don't take me wrong. I like gold because this is a pair that can easily give you money if you do it right. But again, if you do it wrong, it can frustrate you. So whenever I get people being scared about gold, I'm like, why are you scared? And gold is what can give you quick money. Although it's not you can still trade currencies and you make money, but gold is one of the best if you get it right. If you master gold, your life will change. Elkana, is it true? Mark,
Very, very true. Very
if
true.
if you master gold, you can wake up in the morning, you are very broke. In the evening, you have 200,000 in your account. You can wake up on Monday, you only have 10 shillings, but you have 2 million by the end of the week. We are talking from experience, guys. This is not stories. Please let me buy away on how you can. The rest of your trading life, you can trade gold and make money and your life be better. There are people who only trade gold actually in the community. Hizi vitu zingine hawataki kusikia, but when it comes to gold, when gold is not having clear moves, they are frustrated, they are stressed. But when gold is moving with clean moves, they are so happy. Anyway, I hope you've gotten that. Let me delete all these things, then just finalize by saying these, and then I talk about the data. I'll do more examples of impure liquidity so that you guys get on. I'll do specifically videos. Probably I can do that, videos of impure liquidity and more examples even on currency. So these are our determinant. The moment this candlestick close below, so expect probably more sales. But again, as you expect more sales, don't assume this reaction from me. Yeah, anything can happen. This reaction can as well decide to be. That's why I tell you guys the outcome. It is not you do everything and then the market do. This might decide to come and break this on, by the way. So you should think in probability. That's why stop loss is important. You cannot just sell without putting a stop loss, and you cannot buy without putting a stop loss. So there's that. There's also there's that reaction. There's also the reaction probably of the market. Let me go to 1 hour so that I can see it clear. There's that, and there's also we're thinking in probability, guys, and we apply risk money. So if I hear people saying Forex is a scam, it's gambling, those are people who don't know what they're doing. You know, here, why should banks put their money in scams? You know, banks are putting billions of money in trading, you know. You know, when you get someone saying trading is a scam, those are people who are cursed, you know. They don't know what they are saying. Anyway, so then on 1 hour for intraday's ideas, that's an area of consideration for a reaction to downside. But today I hope I'll be in the house the whole day. I'll try to, when I'm on the charts and I'm in the house, making money is very easy for me. So I'm gonna have that. So there's a possibility of us continuing to go up with that move. There's also the possibility of a reaction from here. So it's up to you to refine. I've just given you clues so that you know what to do. Yes, why should you say Forex is a scam? Unless your money was stolen from that scam that I had people had lost money. I don't know, it's called CPX or what. Why do Africans, I wonder, someone tells you, you know, you can make 100% and then you're stupid. And you know the reality, and then you put your money. I met someone recently who lost, I think, 250,000. Just go you know. Don't just put your money everywhere. Use common sense. That's why now people like easy things. You know, people understand the psychology of money and how people behave, so they will use that against you, and then they will scam you. Then once you get scammed, you start saying, oh, just be smart. Just be smart. Your life will be better. Alice, are we together? Are we together? You know, there are people, let me today mention other people's name. Kerubo, are we there? Kerubo. Today I just want, we have Kerubo. We have Iminza. We have Esther. Oh, so our community also has some ladies here. Okay. Any lady who trade gold. Ako na roho ngumu, si ndio? The people who trade gold, bwana, you should not joke with them. I can also see Angie. She's around. Anyway, so I believe we are good. So let me finally talk about NFP. Let me talk about NFP. Now, when you talk of non-farm payroll, when you talk about non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change, here we have today. We have actually today at 3:30. That is 8:30 a.m. New York time. That is 3:30 Kenyan time. I don't know what time it is in Cameroon or Ghana. So the data, the previous data was 228. Then the forecast is 138. So that simply means, I'll give you a recipe strategy that I used. Anyway, so today, we are going to, today we are going to, we're going to expect, based on the forecast, we're expecting what? We're expecting dollar to be lower. We're expecting dollar to be lower, but for me, I feel like dollar might be pushing up a little, might be pushing up. So let's say if the data comes at 150 or 148, what does that mean? I just want to have a discussion with you about this, especially those guys who've been in the market for more than 3 years, people like in our mark. If today's data comes, maybe it's 140, 150, what will that cause? Guys, Angie, today we're expecting to have data for NFP at 3:30. So we have the forecast. We have the forecast. And we have the, what do you call it? So if the data comes up, if the data comes at 153 or 150, and here the forecast is 138, that means the dollar it's going to gain. If the data comes below, let me do something here. I want you guys to get this clearly. Let me make it clear to you guys. Non-farm payroll. Let me read it for you guys so that you understand. Non-farm payroll. Non-farm payroll. Let me read it for you guys. The non-farm payroll. So, non-farm payroll measures the change in the number of people employed during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. That's why it's called non-farm payroll, excluding the So job creation is the foremost indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of economic activities, right? So a higher than expected reading should be taken as a positive or bullish for the dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as a negative and bearish for the dollar. So we are expecting 138. So if we're gonna get 150, then that is positive for the dollar. If you get anything below 138, then that is negative for the dollar. Simple as that. So if the data comes out, maybe it's 150, because of the focus 138 or just above that, know that the dollar will shoot up, and that simply means Euro USD GU or all the USD quotes we are going to sell. Then all the USD base you're going to buy. I hope that is clear. That's what I'll say. I don't need to have much to say. So I'll teach you how to backtest and analyze these moves. So that you know how to trade news if you want to dwell on that, because there are a few guys in the community who focus only on trading fundamentals. But I always say, I believe based on experience, the market relies both on fundamentals and technicals. The technicals are there to help us get entries, apply risk management, and everything. But at the end of the day, what moves the market is the fundamental. The fundamental is what gauges the economic activities in an economy. So what moves the market is the economic data, or the fundamentals. So the most powerful, we have several, let me show you guys. We have several, I'm gonna show you something that you guys need to understand. On the economic calendar, we have, these are the things that we have RBA, BOG, we have BOE, we have CPI, we have non-farm payroll. Okay, let me just click on them as we move. So we have Fed. When you talk of Fed, Fed is all about FOMC interest rate decision. This is data that comes after sometimes. These are policies that are set by, set by the federal committee. So FOMC, I'll be doing an intensive discussion about the FOMC so that you guys get to understand. So that is the first high impact news that we have. So like right now, the next release is gonna be May. That is 5 days from May 7th. 5 days and 9 hours from today. So the previous was 4.5. Consensus not yet given out. So then we have, it will be updated soon. So that is our FOMC. We have CPI. We have CPI. So CPI is the US CPI. It's the Consumer Price Index. So the next CPI is going to come in 11 days. I hope you're seeing that. Then we also have, what is that? Things are just easy. Then we have non-farm payroll, which is happening today. So non-farm payrolls, April jobs reports of influence, marketing price, blah, 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 and all that. So we're going to be having it today at 3:30. Understand? So all these things, sometimes it's good to read and do research. I'll teach you how to do that and give you platforms that you can do a lot of research. If you have money, you can pay for Bloomberg Terminal. It's only $2,000 per month and $24,000 per year. You want to be at the top of the game. So yeah, then we have BOC. These are interest rates for different, so we have Bank of Canada. So if you're trading pairs, you need to be updated on what is happening. So in the next 33 days, you're going to have interest rate decision. So this is how you should be updated. And then we have these others. We have the Bank of Australia, New Zealand, and all that, right? So guys, I think we have gotten something today. I don't want to waste much time here. I also need to do other things, and then I come for other output. I also observe what is happening in the market. So I hope you've learned something. I hope you guys have learned something today. But I'll do a deep discussion on fundamentals. I'm going to spend some weeks later on in our mentorship just to talk about fundamentals and help you guys know how to interpret fundamentals so that you can be top of the game. So I believe up to that point, we are good to go. Should I put this thing on YouTube? Should I put this recording on YouTube? Is it necessary? But I believe you guys have learned. I realized that people are downloading my content, and anyway, just find a way. Soon I'll put everything in locking. So I'm going to post this recording on YouTube, and then you guys can rewatch and get to learn from those breakdowns and the recaps that I've done. I'm going to put the recording on Discord. Sorry, I mean on YouTube. Guys, come to these channels, subscribe. Subscribe. I'm not a content creator, guys. I'm just a trader who gives people ideas about trading. So I'm not a content. That's why you see I'm just uploading things haphazardly without any decoration. Just record, upload. But you guys subscribe so that anytime I'm gonna be doing more content and more updates, you can always benefit from that. Probably once I disappear, I've been saying this, I'll be just trading and creating more valuable content I post so that members of the community, especially my interest is mainly on the members of the community, and those maybe will be joining us, so they can also be learning from that. So kindly, we are 21 here. I don't know if you have not subscribed, go to YouTube and look for EURJPY concept and subscribe, and then so that we can grow together as a community. Anyway, you guys have a lovely day and a very beautiful weekend ahead. So let's observe what happens today and see what happens during the NFP. After the data, we'll know where we are heading to long term as we wait for MC to come in 5 days. Those who will be trading during the news, good luck. Those who will be trading before the news, all the best. And those who will be trading after the news, may you have more people. So I'm going to end the meeting here. Then I'll be uploading all the sessions for yesterday, the other day, and today. Then I'll share all the links. Welcome.